Welcome to the Beck and Siri Show.
And here at Team Serious Tri Club, it's not just about swim, bike, run. It's about who you become. On our show, we don't just talk to you about swimming, cycling and running.
We talk about mindset. We talk about fearless authenticity and being your very best self.
Hi there, Cam here from Team Serious. This week on the podcast, we've got Coach Mary Carmen Farias. She's talking to us about how she's added self-reflection to her weekly schedule to help her with her performance in triathlon, but also in life. And don't forget, if you want to join these chats live, you can do so by joining the Tri Club at teamserioustriclub.com.
Hello everyone, I am so sorry. I am having trouble with my computer, so I am just going to record from my phone. I hope everyone can see me, and I just want to make sure and there we go, and ask some questions. So I'm just gonna say real fast again what I was saying before. As some of you may know, today is a super important day for Siri and Beck. So first, I ask each of one of you to keep them on your thoughts. Let's send so much love and so much, healing vibes to them. And I know this will be an amazing day for both of them. So they asked me to be here today to answer any questions that you guys have. And I actually want to apologize because I did not post that I was going to be going live, so I do not have any questions to answer. So as you begin to sign in, definitely let me know if you have any questions, and I will be more than happy to answer. Now, I was just welcoming all the new members. We would love to hear from you, love to hear about your background, a little bit about your experience, anything you want to share. This is not only about triathlon, but we want to learn more about you, your life, your family, your pets, everything. So if you're new to the group, feel free to share. I know that this group is for you to ask questions and to meet other people, because you might realize that, a lot of people are training in the same city or, state that you are. So I think it's always great to create those new relationships with people who are on the team. And the other thing I was saying, I was just congratulating everyone who raced this weekend. Congratulations to Maddie, who had an awesome race in Dubai, 70.3. And then she had another amazing race the week before that. It was a sprint triathlon also in Dubai. So congratulations, Maddie, and congratulations to Anne, I think. I'm sorry if I'm missing your name, that you did a charity ride on your bike. I think it's great to start the season with those, short bike rides or runs or swims or, sprint triathlons. I am a big fan of that. So I think it's just exciting that we're starting the season and, just getting ready for a great season ahead. I just hope that everyone had a great prior week, and I also want to celebrate each one of you who showed up for training. That's a big thing that sometimes we take for granted because we do it so much that we just think it's normal. But I want each one of you to sit down and celebrate the fact that you are showing up every single day. Besides, all the work that you're doing, maybe you have a family, maybe you have pets, definitely sit down and celebrate the fact that you are showing up every single day and that you are getting better every single day. Just because, again, we do it so often that we sometimes forget to celebrate ourselves. Now, again, I don't have any questions to answer, but I do want to share with you something that I committed to implement this year, and that was working on my self-reflection every single week. Now, I know we all have different goals, and maybe some people, just do this recreationally, which is absolutely, okay. But this does not only apply to training. I think doing weekly reflections in different areas of your life can bring so much improvement to you as a human and to the people that are around you. Because when we are aware of the things that we can improve, we can actually do something about it. If we don't know the things that need improvement, then it's going to be harder for us to do something about it because we don't know what needs to be changed, and sometimes we don't know what's causing that discomfort or that thing that just is not making us feel 100%. It's not making us feel fulfilled. So I want to share with you actually some of my reflections that I have been doing. hoping that they can help you, and so that you get a better understanding of what it looks like, and that it doesn't necessarily have to be strictly related to training, and how you can implement it in different areas of your life. So this is a little bit of what I did. So I pretty much wrote down in here all of the things that I want to be working on. So for me, it's really important to incorporate meditation in the morning, and it doesn't necessarily have to be a meditation where I just like sit down and listen to something, but it basically means that when I wake up, I'm going to avoid just grabbing my phone and looking at my phone first thing in the morning, because that's a habit that I'm trying to eliminate, because that's something that I used to do. So by meditation, it can be, just saying things that what you're grateful for, playing a guided meditation, listening, you can do some priming, or just whatever it is that will take care of your mindset and that will allow you to, just make some time for you. Some of the other things is also reviewing my goals. This is very important because, again, a lot of the times we will go through the weeks and we don't even know what we want to accomplish. We don't even know what we're going to be doing for the week. So it's definitely important that we have clarity on that. Give me 1 second. Sorry about that. Okay. So, the other things I wrote down are things that I want to be working on. So I definitely want to be learning more about, triathlon, some tips that I can share with you guys, share on my social media, so that I can, share my learning with more people. The same with nutrition. And I also want to make sure that I'm being consistent with my training, which is something that I personally don't struggle with, but I want to make sure it's written down in here so that I can keep track of that. So the other thing is, it's going to look different for each one of you depending on what your goals are. But again, this is just like so powerful because I have each day of the week here and I can be tracking all the things that I'm doing, what I'm not doing. And if, for example, I notice that I haven't been, let's say that my nutrition hasn't been on track for like 4 days of the week, then I know for next week, that's going to be my main focus, because it's important to remember that your weakest area, it's always going to be dragging you. So you want to make sure that you grow in each area. And it doesn't mean that you have to be perfect on each area, but definitely trying and giving your best is going to be extremely beneficial, because it's a habit that you develop of actually taking care of the things that need to be taken care of and being aware of the things that need to be improved. The other thing I also like to write here, it's a weekly reflection. So after I have sort of the score for each week, I reflect on what things went great, what things I can celebrate, and what things can be improved. So that's on this part. So it's like my weekly reflection, and I write it down in here. And then on the back of the page, I actually write my goals for that specific week. So if I notice that, again, for example, my nutrition wasn't on track that week, then my goal is to be really aware of my nutrition, again, because I know that what I eat is going to determine a lot of how I feel, how I'm going to recover. So that's definitely something that's very important for me. I'm just going to check if I have any questions here. Okay. So that's something I just wanted to share with you guys that I have been implementing. And let's see. I'm not seeing any questions here. I'm going to wait a little bit to see if anyone hops on and answer any questions that you guys may have. Let me see. What else can I talk about? I can tell you a little bit about some of the reflections that I had for this week. So I actually think this is very important to remind yourself that it is always better to go all in, even if you fail, to be willing to give you 100%, even if you don't get the outcome that you were hoping for. And this is something really big, because sometimes it is normal for us to stay in our comfort zone and to keep doing things that might not benefit us, just because those are the things that actually make us feel safe. So whenever we get out of that safety, we start doubting and we start becoming afraid. So for me, this is something that I honestly have been working on a long time, that I want to make sure that it doesn't matter if my goals are really high, and if I don't get there, I would rather, aim higher, even if I fall short, because in that process, I am going to guarantee that I'm going to learn, that I'm going to grow, and I'm going to be better than I was before. So this is something that I have been really focusing on, saying I am willing to give my 100%. And again, not just in training, but in every area of my life, even if at the end I don't get the outcome that I want, because in that process, I'm going to stretch myself and I'm going to learn. The other thing that I've also been reflecting on is just being very clear on the things that you want, because that will guarantee that you are fulfilled and that you are motivated. I know that a lot of people might look, at me sometimes or at other people and think that we're always motivated and that we always wake up and we're like, I can't wait to work out and I can't wait to get to the gym. But in reality, that's not true. A lot of the times we don't have that motivation, but when we have the clarity on the things that we want, we are driven. Like, we don't actually have to push ourselves to do things. We are pulled by our vision, by the clarity that we have, by our goals. And this is why the reflection is so important, because it helps you stay focused on the things that you want. And when you have that clarity, you're also able to make adjustments on your goals, and you're actually more likely to feel fulfilled, rather than if you're just going to a place with no destination. Even if you have the best training out there, even if you have the best results out there, if you don't have the clarity on why that's important to you, you might find yourself not feeling fulfilled. And I don't know for you guys, but for me, fulfillment is why I do this. Finding joy and happiness is why I do this, and so that I can have an impact on those people around me. And that's my mission, that's my vision, and that's the main thing that I'm always working on, knowing that if I accomplish something, it will be an inspiration for those people that are looking at me that might think that it is not possible. So every time I'm doing something, I remind myself, remember that if you get better, you are going to inspire those around you. And that gives me so much motivation, because again, it's not only about me, but it's about the people that are around me. And that's so clear in my mind that that's where I find the motivation whenever I'm not feeling motivated, if that makes any sense. So just having a clarity on your vision, I believe it's something that is super important, again, in every area of your life. And then the other thing that I've also really been working on is on self-trust. And with this, I can say that it doesn't matter, honestly, if you have a coach. If you do not trust yourself, it's going to be very difficult for you to see progress. And the reason for that is because nobody's gonna know you better than you know yourself. Nobody's gonna know what's going through your mind better than you know. So when you have a coach, what you communicate to them, it's the amount of help that they're gonna be able to give to you. So it's very important that if you wanna see a change, or if you're not seeing the progress that you wanna see, that you ask yourself, what am I communicating? Or what am I doing so that I can improve this? Because if I don't communicate it, then how can it be changed? Maybe if you don't have a coach, you have to be willing to try different things. If you have been doing something and it hasn't been working for you, then it might be time to try something else. And the main thing that I see is people getting comfortable. If you want to progress, if you want to get better, you have to make sure that you're getting uncomfortable, because honestly, with the experience that I have, I can tell you that the only way to improve is to go through that moments of uncomfort, that it's not just physical discomfort, it's also mental discomfort. And I would tell you that the mind is what's going to stop you before even your body stops. So developing a strong mindset requires work and requires a lot of repetition. So whenever you are not seeing the progress that you want to make sure that you push harder, that you stay longer, so that you develop that mindset of knowing that you are way stronger than you believe you are. And you're going to notice that next time yes, you are faster and you are stronger physically. But I do believe that what's going to allow you to get to the next level, it's working really on your mindset and on allowing yourself to believe that you are stronger than you think. And I don't believe that it gets easier. I just believe that you get stronger physically and mentally. So this is big. And I do also think that trusting yourself involves what I was saying before, willing to give your 100%, even if at the end you don't get what you want. And honestly, I can tell you that most of the times you're gonna give your 100% and you might not get what you want because progress takes time. But this actually reminds me of something that's really important, and that's the all in or all out mentality. And I just want to let each one of you know that one step forward, it's better than no step at all. And I see a lot of this with training, and specifically, with nutrition. If we want to make a change, we want to go from A to Z. And then we wonder why we end up failing, because we want to change our lifestyle so fast that we don't even allow ourselves to enjoy the process, first of all, to learn from the process, and to evaluate the areas that we need to be working on specifically. So I challenge each one of you to just focus on one thing, and just on one thing a week that you can do better. And once you master that thing, then go on to the other one, rather than saying, this week I'm going to do my workouts, I'm going to eat good, I'm going to read, I'm going to do all these things that you've never done before. And then you end up not doing anything, or you end up doing one, but then you're not kind with yourself because you didn't do all those other 10 things. So my recommendation for you is to start slow. It's better to start slow than to try to do everything at the same time and then not do anything at the end. And now, if you're just doing one thing out of those 10 things, I want you to celebrate yourself, because again, one step forward is better than no steps at all. And again, what I can tell you is that with the weekly reflection, it's really going to open up your mind so that you can identify those areas when you're not doing as great, and that you can definitely improve. So this is why I really like the weekly reflections. Maybe you can do bi-weekly, maybe you can do monthly, whatever works for you. But definitely, if you're investing all this time on anything that you're doing, I highly suggest that you sit down and you reflect on what you're doing, how you're doing it, why you're doing it, what's going good, what could improve. So those are just some of the recommendations that I have for you. I was actually just writing down, and I realized that when I started training, my swim, you probably guys have heard this story so many times, but my swim was like really bad, like really, really bad. And when I first started, my progress, it was actually exponentially. Like, I dropped so much time, like fast, I would say. And then by the first year, like the first full year, I've noticed that it takes me about 1 full year to reduce 5 seconds off of my swim. And again, at the beginning, it was a little bit faster, but the faster you get, the harder it is to actually reduce those times. So imagine if I would have focused on the fact that, this is not working for me because the progress that I'm seeing, it's not as fast as I want. But what happens? I keep showing up. I keep doing the work, even if I'm not seeing the results that I want. Because one thing I do know, that if I am consistent, that if I keep working, I will eventually get there. So I actually don't change my goals. What I do is I adjust what needs to be adjusted until I get there. And then I reflect on the things that I can do different so that I can actually get there. So, I mean, those are some of the things that I want to share with you guys. I am not seeing any questions. So I'm gonna log out, and if any other questions come up, feel free to post below, and I will come back and answer those questions for you. Hope everyone is having a great day. Make this an amazing week, and have a great week, guys. Bye-bye.
Hi there, Cam here again. Thanks, MC, for that. And don't forget, if you want to join these chats live, you can do so by joining the Tri Club at teamserioustriclub.com. And head over to our Facebook page for lots of free tips and advice about triathlon performance. Just search for teamsiriustriclub.com.